Yeah, well, yesterday I saw a butterfly. So summer's here. I just saw the butterfly again today. Um, I saw some destruction that I thought was going to be from the San Francisco fire. I saw there's a big fire. I think it's Stockton or something. Um, but it was those riots. So that's terrible. You know, the thing about racism in this case is it's kind of funny because basically what you have is power tripping. And it kind of is related to the questions. I mean, the officer in this case was white, but there's been police brutality by African Americans. And you go, is that racist? Well, the thing is, it's power trippers, and people think they can get away with it when there's various disproportionate kinds of power, like starting just with, hey, I'm the cop and you're not. But imagine it this way. I mean, cops go easier on wealthy people, and you could see common sense reasons if you want to create a little example of there's a reported, stealing, and the cops come in, and there's this rich guy in a suit, and there's a homeless guy, and they're going to be suspicious that the homeless guy is, the one. And you go, well, what if a homeless guy just manages to dress up in a suit and then he could go steal it? Well, he can't. Where'd he get the suit and why would, and so people will think this kind of stuff through. But the bottom line is, if you have a power tripper, if somebody looks poor, then you think you can get away with it, right? It doesn't matter if you grew up poor. You're a police officer now. So it's the same thing with being African American. Um, People, when they're in the middle of their power trips, even if it's not a power trip that obsesses them all the time, or they don't think about racial issues, once they're in a conflict with you of any sort, maybe just wandered in, wrong place, wrong time kind of thing, they think you're someone else. They have a picture in your head. They also know that they can get away with more. It's like that woman in which Karen is a terrible term. Do not use that term. We do not need a new, the K word or whatever. Stupid. But what she did was very stupid as well, and it showed that, or stupid isn't even the right word, but it showed, she's aware of the privilege. She's aware, hey, you're African American. I'm going to call the cops on you in Central Park. You're starting at a disadvantage here before we even dig down to the truth and sort it out. And that woman probably doesn't think of herself as racist, but the point is, when you're trying to push, when you're mad, what should I do? What can I get away with? What am I afraid of doing? Because I don't think I could get away with it. You just have this leeway. Um, and that's the whole point of, saying Black Lives Matter. It's on the assumption that all lives matter. But when you see a guy casually suffocate another person, um, uh, what else do you attribute it to but this a kind of brutality, which isn't like he's out there to harm a poor person or an African American, or he's not aiming for those demographics. What it is when encountering these demographics, he feels uh, or he doesn't even feel it, just he exists in an area that's very libertine, gives him a lot of liberty to break the rules proportionate to whatever this category is. So you can't separate it from racism. Can you imagine seeing a cop with his knee crushing a man's neck for that long, and that man is, you know, dressed like a banker? Don't think so. Because there would be like, hey, I might get in trouble for this, would kick in. So they need to start getting in trouble for it. There's no two other ways about it. All right, cheers. And yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to do this every day. That's the way I'm naming them, right? So maybe I'll see you tomorrow.